Our S24 Ultra review unit arrives in about a week, but in the meantime, if you're stuck between pre-ordering an S24 Ultra or getting an iPhone 15 Pro Max, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know based on my early hands-on experience with the S24 Ultra. Also, if you're thinking of pre-ordering, we've teamed up with Samsung to give you an exclusive offer, where you can get up to $750 in savings, plus double the storage, plus $150 in credit by using the affiliate link below. Okay, so I want to start off with the design. Both the 15 Pro Max and the S24 Ultra are literally the most premiumly built and feeling phones that you can buy today. They come with a titanium frame that feels cool to the touch and one that is also very durable in the hand. They also come with a gorgeous frosted glass back with very similar colors actually, such as natural titanium, black titanium, as well as this purple/blue finish. Like, the only difference here is that Apple also offers you a white version, which Samsung doesn't, but Samsung does offer you a yellow option plus 3 extra colors if you order from their online store. My personal favorite is definitely the titanium green, which is actually the one that I've ordered for myself. A couple of extra design things here. The S24 Ultra is a bigger phone. It is not just wider, but also taller, thicker, and heavier. So holding it in my hand definitely felt chunkier than holding my 15 Pro Max. But the frame is more curved on the S24 Ultra, which meant that it is actually still very comfortable in the hand, despite its larger size. Overall, they both look great, and it's just a matter of choice. If you prefer the more rectangular shape of the S24 Ultra, that is your answer. If you prefer a slimmer phone that's a tiny bit smaller and with curved corners, then the iPhone 15 Pro Max is the one for you. Now, when it comes to the display, these two displays are literally the best displays that you can find on any phone. But there are a couple of differences here. The first is that the S24 Ultra has a slightly larger display at 6.8 inches as opposed to 6.7. And in combination with the flat corners and the smaller camera cutout, makes it the superior choice for watching content, as less of your content will be cut off. Plus, the S24 Ultra also has a higher peak brightness of 2600 nits when viewing HDR content, as opposed to the iPhone's 1600 nits. However, outdoors, Apple claims 2000 nits compared to 1500 on the S24 Ultra. Of course, we do know that the iPhone tends to dim quite quickly after about 4 minutes. So do stay tuned to the channel for when we do get our S24 Ultra review in it for further testing, as we will be testing the outdoor brightness and see how it stacks up against the iPhone and also against some other phones in some real-world usage. On a separate note, Samsung has now added the wallpaper view in the always-on functionality of their display. So now, just like with a 15 Pro, when your phone goes into sleep, it will show you your wallpaper. And if you want to get some stunning looking wallpapers for your phone, our app Wallpapers offers you literally the highest quality wallpapers of any wallpaper app out there. All of our wallpapers are 8K in resolution. What this means is that you can use our wallpapers on your phone, tablet, and desktop. And since they're 8K, you can also zoom in a ton and everything will still be crazy sharp. Not only that, but all of our wallpapers are designed by our talented team of designers, which are featured and promoted in our app. Plus, Wallpapers also offers you cross-platform cloud sync, so that you can keep your collection of wallpapers organized and with you everywhere you go. You can check out Wallpapers by using the link below or simply search for Wallpapers on the Play Store and the App Store. So what about the camera? Well, we will be doing a detailed camera comparison as soon as we get our unit. So do subscribe if you want to see that, but if you want to get a general idea now, they both have some of the very best camera hardware on the market. The S24 Ultras is identical to the S23 Ultras here, so it still uses Samsung's incredibly high-res 200 megapixel sensor, with the same ultra-wide and also the same 3x telephoto that we had before. The only difference is that the new 5x telephoto replaces the old 10x, and this now matches the zoom level that we have on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. However, Samsung is using a much higher resolution sensor at 50 megapixels as opposed to Apple's 12 megapixel sensor. So I do believe that Samsung will still be better when it comes to high levels of zoom. Now, there are a couple of other changes to the S24 Ultra's camera. More specifically, the image processing is now heavily aided by AI, something that Samsung refers to as the Pro Visual Engine, that can detect subjects and scenes better than ever before and expose the image accordingly. From my experience of daily driving the S23 Ultra and the iPhone 15 Pro Max, The S23 Ultra did actually have better image processing and superior HDR handling, so I'm curious to see what improvements the Pro Visual Engine would bring to the table. Now, there are a couple of more additions this year as well, such as 4K 120fps video on the S24 Ultra as opposed to 4K 60fps on the iPhone. You can also now shoot 8K video in 30fps on the 5x zoom lens and not just the main. The iPhone does, however, give you ProRes video recording as well as log straight from the native camera app, which looks incredibly clean. So I would be surprised if the S24 Ultra surpasses the iPhone when it comes to video this year, but I guess we'll find out very soon. Now, if the camera is super important for you guys, I would generally wait for our camera comparison where we'll be testing and comparing everything that you guys need to know. Now, when it comes to the software features, Samsung always had more features than Apple, but this year, Samsung takes it to the next level with Galaxy AI. This gives you a bunch of AI-powered features in most of Samsung's apps. For example, if you now hold the home button, you can circle anything you want on your screen and your phone will perform a smart search. So if someone posted a photo of a specific landmark on Instagram, you can find out exactly what that landmark is and even ask the AI to create a travel plan for it. Galaxy AI will also be able to translate phone calls for you and even speak for you in the caller's native language. This is definitely my favorite feature yet. It can also do the same for text messages and even modify your replies to be more professional or more fun. And then if you're in a meeting, for example, AI will be able to transcribe your entire meeting into text, separate it into multiple speakers, and then even give you a summary that you can then email to your team. Galaxy AI also works in the Samsung browser to give you summaries of your web pages, and it even works in the Samsung keyboard for typing suggestions. And then in the Photos app, you can upscale an image, you can rotate it and then fill in the corners with the missing detail, and even move the subject around. Apple doesn't have any of these features yet, although there have been some rumors that iOS 18 will be bringing some big AI features. But until then, the S24 Ultra would definitely be my choice if you want to have a more helpful phone in all aspects. Of course, if you guys want a more traditional and a more simple experience, then the iPhone is the best at that. Okay, now when it comes to hardware features, of course, we have Apple's A17 Pro chip inside the iPhone and the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 inside the S23 Ultra. And this year, Samsung's much closer to Apple in terms of the raw performance. Realistically, they're both extremely powerful and you guys won't have any lag on them whatsoever in any scenario. At least I haven't had any performance issues at all on my 15 Pro Max or even the S23 Ultra from last year, so I do doubt that the S24 Ultra that's even more powerful will be any different. What's new this year is that we get 12 gigs of RAM on the base 256GB S24 Ultra, whereas the iPhone still only comes with 8. Now, from my experience using 12 gigs of RAM on different Samsung phones in the past, it does actually make a big difference when it comes to the number of apps being left open in the background. The 15 Pro Max did improve the RAM management quite a bit, and it's extremely good now, but my 12 gigs of RAM Fold 5 or S22 Ultra were handling opening my apps significantly better. Like I was able to go back literally quite a few days, sometimes even weeks, and my apps were still fully open in the background on those phones. So if you do tend to use a lot of apps and switch between them at all times, the S24 Ultra will be a better option. Plus, you can also run 2 or even 3 apps side by side, which you cannot do at all on the iPhone. Both phones support ray tracing, but the iPhone does support actual AAA games like Resident Evil Village, Death Stranding, Assassin's Creed Mirage, and many more. None of which are supported on the S24 Ultra, unless you're of course willing to stream them. However, if you do game a lot on your phone, then the iPhone is known to overheat quite quickly, whereas Samsung now added a new vapor chamber that is 1.9 times larger than the one inside the S23 Ultra. So this should help keep temperatures in check and also sustain the performance during long gaming sessions. Now, there are a couple of more unique hardware features to each here. For example, the S24 Ultra comes with the S Pen, which some people might find useful for taking notes or sketching, whereas the iPhone comes with Face ID, which I personally much prefer over the fingerprint reader on the Samsung. And we also get a customizable action button on the iPhone, which you can also technically do on the Samsung using Good Lock and Registar, and by using the side button, although that's a bit more complicated to do so. Now, when it comes to the battery, the S24 Ultra does have a physically larger battery at 5,000 mAh compared to 41 on the iPhone. But for me at least, the 15 Pro Max actually lasted the longest compared to any other phone that I've used before, including the S23 Ultra, which also had a 5000 mAh battery. Now, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 is supposed to be a bit more power efficient than the 8 Gen 2 by 20 to 25%, but the display is also brighter, so I don't think the S24 Ultra will last longer than the 15 Pro Max. Of course, we will be doing a battery drain test, so do stay tuned for that. Charging-wise, they both charge via USB Type-C, which is awesome, but the S24 Ultra can charge a bit faster, to about 65% in 30 minutes compared to 55 on the iPhone. And the S24 Ultra also supports reverse wireless charging so that you can charge your earbuds or your Galaxy Watch from the back of it. Of course, I've talked about a lot of their features, but how much do they actually cost? Well, the 15 Pro Max starts from $1,200 for the 256GB version, whereas the S24 Ultra is actually more expensive at $1,300. However, Samsung is offering you some heavy pre-order bonuses. If you guys use the link below, you can actually get up to $750 in savings, plus double the storage, plus another $150 in credits when you pre-order the S24 Ultra or any of the other S24 models too. And if you're based in the UK, you can also get a free Galaxy Watch 6. Which one are you guys thinking of picking and why? If you're still not sure, then definitely stay tuned for our real world comparisons and testing, which will be coming out in roughly a week. I'm Daniel, this means ZONEofTECH, and I'll see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH signing out. Cheers.